in the lac operon there are two regulator site, that is the cap site and operator site. Okay, these two together producing or transcribing the Z, Y and A gene and then translated it to the corresponding proteins. Okay, suppose if glucose is absent in the medium, then what will happen? So if glucose is absent, cyclic AMB will produce a large number, and this cyclic AMB bind to the protein, that is a Catabolite Activator protein, and this complex bind to the cap, and the cap due to this binding the DNA become bend and it inactivate that, and as a result RNA polymerase bind to the promoter. As a result this ZYA gene will transcribe into mRNA then to protein. Okay, so in the presence of the glucose, low quantity cyclic AMB will produce that it cannot bind it to this protein and it cannot bind it to the cap, so it remaining as such. So the RNA polymerase cannot bind it to the promoter, and hence the translation cannot take, transcription cannot take place. Suppose lac repressor present, lac repressor bind to the operator. If lactose is absent, repressor bind to the operator, and hence the RNA polymerase cannot bind to the promoter, and it cannot be translated and transcribed and translated into protein. Suppose lactose is present, then what happens? This is the lactose that bind to the repressor, and this repressor complex bind to the operator, cannot bind to the operator. As a result RNA polymerase bind into the promoter, and these three genes will transcribe into mRNA and protein.